The Paraíba, or simply termed Paraíba, is a river in southeast Brazil. It flows 1,137 kilometers west to northeast from its farthest source at the source of the river Paraitinga to the sea near Campos dos Goytacazes. The river receives its name when it meets the river Paraibuna at the Paraibuna Dam. Its main tributaries are the rivers Jaguari, Buquira, Paraibuna, Preto, Pomba and Muriaé. These last two are the longest and join the main river 140 kilometers and 50 kilometers from the mouth respectively. The valley of the Paraíba is parallel latitudes 20 degrees 26 and 23 degrees 39 S and the longitudes of 41 degrees and 46 degrees 30 W and covers an area of about 57,000 km2 distributed over 3 states. The main economic activities are industry and cattle raising. Navigation. Presently only two parts of the river can be navigated. The lower section, between the mouth and São Fidélis, about 90 kilometers. It has a declivity of 22 centimeters per kilometer. There is incipient navigation carried out by small boats that transport mainly construction material to the city of Campos dos Goytacazes. The upper middle section, between Cachoeira Paulista and Guararema, about 280 kilometers. Despite the small declivity of 19 centimeters per kilometer, navigation is restricted to tourist boats. Elsewhere navigation is hampered by various obstacles, waterfalls, rapids, sections with great declivity and various hydroelectric works with no locks. Other factors impeding navigation of the existence of highway and railway bridges, the proximity of roads and railways following the river bank and the location of several cities on its banks. Centers of population. The Paraíba Valley is very fertile and has always been a region of relatively dense population. Cities located on or near the river are state of Rio de Janeiro, Barra de Piraí, Barra Mansa, Três Rios, Paraíba do Sul, Sapucaí, Campos dos Goytacazes, center of a rich sugarcane growing area, Vassouras, site of a highly respected agricultural university, Volta Redonda, site of Brazil's first steel industry. State of São Paulo, Aparecida, site of Brazil's most famous Marian pilgrimage site. Paraitinga to São José dos Campos, high-tech industry and home to Embraer, Brazil's aircraft manufacturer, Taubaté, Volkswagen and Ford plants. State of Minas Gerais, Ilha Cutem, Paraíba, Estrela d'Alva, Juiz de Fora, important manufacturing city on the Paraibuna River, one of the major tributaries of the Paraíba. Ecology. Unlike rivers in northern Brazil where seasonal variations in water temperature generally are relatively limited, those in southern Brazil, such as Paraíba do Sul, exhibit distinct differences between winter and summer. During a survey of the river in Lorena, São Paulo, the water varied from 26.6 degrees Celsius in the summer to 15.2 degrees Celsius in the winter. The pH is neutral and generally fluctuates between 6 and 8. The Paraíba do Sul basin is home to just above 100 native fish species, with most in the families Loricariidae, Carassidae and Trichomysteridae. About 40% of the fish species in the river basin are endemic and new species have been discovered in recent years, including the small catfish Paraíba hypsirahachias that only was scientifically described in 2013. As a consequence of flowing through one of the most densely populated and industrialized parts of Brazil, the Paraíba do Sul suffers from pollution. Studies of the native cichlid geophysics Galapagos Brasiliensis have found that levels of some heavy metals exceed the limits set by the Brazilian food legislation. Other threats are dams and the approximately 70 introduced species, including 46 species of non-native fish and the parasitic copepod Lernia cyprinacea. Several native species are seriously threatened, and a general fall in abundance and species richness has been observed. Some, such as the endemic Hypostomus orogotatus, have successfully adapted to the changes. Other threatened species in the Paraíba desal basin of the bivalves Diplodon D. expansus, D. fontanus, and the Hodges side neck turtle. A national conservation plan with recommendations for the river basin was published in 2010.